What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Alex Pereira delivered another brutal reminder of why his left hand is one of the most feared weapons in the sport. During a recent training session, Alex lined up with one of his sparring partners, staying calm and composed as always. As they moved around the cage, he planted his feet, timed the moment perfectly, and unleashed his signature left hand. The shot landed clean, instantly dropping his partner to the canvas. The room went quiet for a moment as everyone processed what had just happened. In the footage, you can hear someone say, "Look, soon the right hand goes," almost warning what was coming next. Moments later, Alex repeated the motion, flowing with the same precision and force. When the second clean shot landed, reactions ranged from shock to disbelief. But honestly, why is anyone surprised? This is what Alex does. His power is real, his timing is dangerous, and even in sparring, that legendary left hand remains a weapon you do not want any part of. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Kron Gracie has opened up about the UFC's decision not to re-sign him following his tough loss to Bryce Mitchell, a fight that generated massive criticism from fans and analysts alike. In that bout, Kron struggled to get anything going offensively. He landed just 6 significant strikes, secured 0 takedowns, and managed only 2 seconds of control time before ultimately getting knocked out. The performance led to widespread backlash, with many questioning his approach and reliance on pulling guard, something he'd used successfully throughout his career, but that completely backfired on the big stage. Speaking with MMAfighting.com, Kron reflected on the situation with honesty and self-awareness. He explained that, at the time, he genuinely expected another opportunity in the UFC because he was competing against a top 15 opponent. In his mind, facing high-level competition should come with some security, win or lose, especially for fighters trying to climb the rankings. However, he recognized that the way he fought, particularly the decision to pull guard repeatedly, played a major role in how fans responded. According to him, a lot of supporters were disappointed, and that disappointment translated into a significant drop in his stock. Kron said that from a fan standpoint and from a business perspective, he fully understands why the promotion chose not to re-sign him. The UFC is, at the end of the day, a business, and he acknowledged that losing fan support can make a big difference in whether a fighter gets another shot. He explained that the message from the company felt clear: go rebuild your fan base, get some wins, and then maybe come back. Kron didn't express resentment about that, instead saying it made sense. One major takeaway from this experience is his decision to abandon pulling guard altogether. Kron admitted that although pulling guard had always worked well for him and felt like a tool he could rely on whenever needed, the modern MMA landscape leaves little room for strategies that limit a fighter's ability to control positions, generate offense, or stay competitive in the eyes of both fans and promoters. He said he's made the choice to focus on getting on top, being effective from multiple positions, and evolving his mindset. For years, he succeeded from the bottom, but now he understands that to stay relevant, he must adapt, improve, and show a more complete skill set moving forward. Moving on to another news, Chandler has opened up about why the potential showdown with Conor at the White House isn't just another fight for him, but a moment he believes could define his entire career. For Chandler, this matchup represents something bigger than rankings, belts, or the usual stakes that come with a massive UFC event. He thinks the UFC might even create a special belt specifically for the historic White House card, a symbol fitting for what he believes would be one of the most iconic moments in combat sports. Speaking with MMAfighting.com, Chandler laid out exactly why this is a must-win situation. He said that if the fight happens, he wouldn't be satisfied with simply beating Conor. Instead, he wants to dominate him, break him down systematically, and leave no doubt as he gets his hand raised right there on the White House lawn. He said he has visualized it ever since the announcement was made, imagining himself draped in the stars and bars representing the red, white, and blue on America's 250th birthday. In his mind, walking out as the main event on that historic day would carry heavy meaning and heavy pressure. It's a challenge he feels ready for. Chandler spoke passionately about his love for the country, saying he loves the people, the spirit, and the ideals that built it. He acknowledged that America isn't perfect, admitting the nation has its blemishes, its hardships, and moments of pain. He even referenced how the past week has shown some of that. But for him, fighting on that stage would symbolize a beautiful celebration of what Americans have endured and continue to stand for. It's the type of moment he wants to honor, live up to, and be part of. He added that the idea of a fight at the White House seemed impossible just 6 months ago. Yet now, it's becoming real. And with that, he believes almost nothing is off the table. The thought of Donald Trump walking into the octagon and raising his hand for a win on America's birthday is something Chandler says would be surreal. Whether or not a belt is involved, he thinks the UFC might create a White House belt, something unique for such a momentous event, something fighters could proudly display for the rest of their lives. But even if the belt doesn't materialize, Chandler emphasized that the opportunity alone to fight at the White House in front of the president on a day celebrating the birth of the nation would be a dream come true. For him, it's simple. Beating Conor on that stage isn't just a goal, it's a mission he's fully committed to. Moving on to another news, a recent moment on social media gave fans a rare look at genuine respect between two of the featherweight division's biggest names. Ilia, who has been surrounded by personal turmoil in recent months, shared an emotional update on X. Rumors have been circulating for a while that he and his wife are going through a difficult split, and on top of that, he's been dealing with heavy responsibilities as a father. In his post, Ilia explained that he won't be fighting in the first quarter of next year, saying he's facing a challenging moment in his personal life and needs to focus on his children while resolving the situation as quickly as possible. He emphasized that he doesn't want to stall the division and that the UFC can move forward with the matchups they need. Once everything in his personal life settles, he'll notify the promotion that he's ready to return. What followed was a warm and sincere response from Max Holloway, a man who knows exactly how draining personal battles outside the cage can be. Max spent years navigating a tough custody fight involving his son, Rush, and he's never shied away from speaking about how emotionally taxing that period was. After reading Ilia's message, Max responded with empathy, telling him he was sorry to hear what he's going through. Max added that if the situation is what people believe it is, then he truly understands the struggle of trying to compete at the highest level while also fighting to protect your kids. He wished Ilia the best and hoped everything would work out in his favor. Ilia replied shortly after, thanking Max for the support and sending good wishes back to him and his family. For fans, it was a refreshing reminder that even in a sport built on intensity, rivalry, and high-stakes competition, there's still room for compassion between fighters who understand the weight of real-life challenges. Moments like this highlight the human side behind the highlight reels and championship belts, showing that respect often runs deeper than any trash talk ever could. Moving on to another news, St-Pierre has shared his thoughts on a potential matchup between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, and while he made it clear the fight is extremely hard to predict, he seems to be leaning slightly toward Jones. GSP explained that when you look at accomplishments alone, Jon Jones has done more than anyone in the sport. He called Jones the best, noting that his resume speaks for itself. But when the conversation shifts to who is the best right now, today, the picture becomes more complicated. GSP pointed out that Tom Aspinall is younger, faster, and riding an impressive wave of momentum. However, he also acknowledged that Aspinall's momentum took a hit in his recent fight due to an accidental eye gouge, which disrupted the flow of what had been a very competitive matchup. Until that moment, GSP said the fight was extremely close, with both men coming forward, trading shots, and producing a highly entertaining battle. Because of that, he believes a rematch is likely, and that fans will get clarity soon on how that rivalry continues to unfold. When asked directly who would win between Jones and Aspinall, GSP didn't give a firm answer. Instead, he repeated that he doesn't know, because Jones remains one of the most unpredictable athletes the sport has ever seen. He described Jones as an anomaly, a fighter whose style, mentality, and ability to rise to big moments make him incredibly hard to bet against. Even though on paper you could argue that Jones is older now and perhaps past his prime, GSP emphasized that age alone doesn't define him. In his words, he's Jon Jones, and that alone makes the matchup nearly impossible to call with confidence. GSP's overall message was clear. While Aspinall represents the new wave of heavyweight talent, Jones carries the weight of unmatched legacy and proven greatness. And when those two worlds collide, anything can happen. Moving on to another news. It looks like the UFC may have accidentally leaked something massive earlier today. The official UFC Brazil page briefly posted a graphic on X that sent fans into a frenzy before it was quickly deleted. The Post claimed that Max Holloway would be facing Charles Oliveira for the BMF title at UFC 324 this January. The moment it went up, screenshots started spreading everywhere, and fans immediately began debating whether this was a real announcement or just an unexpected mistake from the UFC's social team. For those who remember, Max and Charles actually fought back in 2015. That matchup ended in the first round, with Max getting the win via TKO. However, that fight has always carried a little bit of controversy because Charles said afterward that he suffered an injury during the exchange, something that prevented him from continuing. The moment he brought that up, fans and analysts started discussing what really happened and whether the fight ended because of a legitimate TKO or because of a freak injury. To this day, Max has said that nothing was ever confirmed. He's maintained that the win stands as it is and that there was no clear evidence supporting Charles's claim. In recent interviews, Max mentioned that he's open to running it back, especially since the debate around that first fight never seemed to go away. He said that he and Charles have some history, and if Charles wants to point back to an injury, then a rematch would be the perfect chance to settle things once and for all. When talking about it, Max even said, "I guess we get to figure it out now," almost as if he knew this matchup was coming sooner or later. Now, with the UFC Brazil post making its way around the internet, even though it was deleted almost instantly, the buzz is louder than ever. Fans are wondering if this was a genuine leak, an early announcement pushed out too soon, or just a graphic that wasn't meant for the public yet. Either way, the idea of Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira for the BMF title has everyone talking, and if it does happen at UFC 324, it might become one of the most anticipated fights of early 2025.